This is KTN News.
Welcome back, and thank you for staying with Bottom Line Africa. Now we want to have that conversation. COP26 is currently underway in Glasgow, and joining me is John Kioli, who is an environmentalist and the chairman Kenya Climate Change Working Group. He is there. Thank you very much for joining us here on Bottom Line Africa. Days into the summit, talk to us about what has stood out for you so far.
Thank you very much, Ashley. Indeed, it's a pleasure to talk to Kenyans through the KTN, which is a leader in environmental issues. 4 key things are coming out. You all know that in COP25, in COP15, all countries promised the Paris Agreement. And this agreement was very important. In 2015, was very important because it came up with the NDCs, which are nationally determined. So countries are now coming to see how far they have gone. Most of the countries, Kenya, we have not achieved a lot because we can only fund about 20% of the NDC, meaning that we need funding to be able to fund the rest of it. We have promised the country 32% of emissions to be cut by 2030. That is not easy if we don't have funding. The second key thing, Ashley, is that there was a climate ambition in terms of money. There was money that was promised in COP15 in Copenhagen. And this money was under the ambition of $100 billion US. Only 79 million has been given so far. So as countries, we are looking at, as developing countries, we are looking at that money. How can we have that money? Key factors are: one, it has to be transparent. It has to be new and additional, not the normal ODA money that you get. And finally, we have issues around mitigation and adaptation. We are saying, as developing countries, we need money for adaptation. The way we've been getting money for mitigation, we need to amplify adaptation. Because people are dying. We are thirsty. We need water. We need food. We need it like yesterday. So what we are looking for is adaptation to be amplified and given the same emphasis as mitigation. There are issues which are being discussed now, Article 6, which is about financing and carbon market mechanism. You all know that we used to have carbon credit, but now the narrative has changed, and this is what is being discussed now. We are looking for internationally, agreed mechanism that can be able to give money, and that money will be in the form of carbon credits that can facet the gaps we have in our NDCs, can give us money to amplify the work of climate change issues, and therefore, that is one of the things. Our president has been here for the last 3 days. He clearly stated that there's so much promise, there's so much talk, and there's no money on the table. Yet, as Kenyans, we are not responsible for what happened. There are those countries, developed countries, that are responsible because of the industrial revolution, because of their development, and we are suffering. We are saying we need that money yesterday.
So the fact that you're saying, yes, there is issues when it comes to climate financing. So then how do we ensure that we keep this target alive, the target of capping global warming at 1.5 degrees Celsius, if the pledges are not being met? Isn't it going to be the same thing with COP26?
It's very difficult, actually, because one of the key things we are saying we need to end deforestation. And that's one of the biggest things here happening. But even that deforestation, we need water to plant those trees. We need water. And we need even food as we plant those trees. We have no money for that. And this is one of the issues that we are looking at. And we are saying that finance has to be new and additional. And it has to be yesterday, because the money may come when we are all there. Because our vulnerability as a country is extremely high. Our poverty levels is extremely high. And this has been increased by the issues of COVID-19. And this has taken all the money that we had in our reserve, and this has brought in more challenges, and even challenges of energy access. We need money for technology transfer. We need money for those clean foodstuffs. We need money to store, even to have electricity off-grid, like solar, wind, whereby we can store our vaccines, whereby our mothers can be able to deliver day or night, where we can get attention to health facilities, because access to electricity is a turning key to development, is a turning key to education, is a turning key to issues of security.
Do you think there's political goodwill, especially coming from developed countries?
It's extremely low. There's more talk than implementation. Article 6 was not completed in Madrid last time. And, this is where the rubber meets the road. This is where we can have a mechanism to be able to fast track our NDC. This is where we can be able to factor the money that we need for NDC. And all the development around me are revolving around finance. Nobody really is keen. There's so much talk. And if we are talking since Copenhagen, and that was in Norway in 2009, and only 79 billion was put in that basket. We're in 2021. I'm not sure if we'll get there.
Okay, let's talk about our country, Kenya. President Uhuru Kenyatta on Tuesday told delegates that Kenya is determined to fully transition to clean energy by the year 2030. Do you think this is a target that the country can meet? What needs to be done to ensure that we meet this by 2030?
I think the president gave a very firm promise. The journey has started. The journey for electricity in terms of solar is...
All right, that is John Kioli, who is an environmentalist. He is at Glasgow. He's equally a chair of Kenya Climate Change Working Group there. We seem to have lost that connection, talking to us about what exactly is going on in Glasgow right now as the COP26 summit is underway and continues, but still dealing with climate change issues. On the south peak of the dramatic Can case, a massive in Sweden's far north, year after year, Nynäs Raskvest is seeing the impact of a warming climate before her very eyes. And the nearby Stodalen Maya, another major change to the Arctic landscape is underway as